Hi, Rich.
We're discussing Bitcoin as a brand, but it's a tainted brand. I mean, it doesn't have a leadership. It's been associated with this Mt. Gox bankruptcy. It's been associated with volatility, money laundering, etc. So how do you get respectability for it and legitimacy?
Well, the good thing is Bitcoin itself is not a company. It's really just the world's first digital asset class. It's what we call, it's a leader of what we call the new term cryptocurrency, digital currencies for the people everywhere. So the brand, you know, despite the fact that there's no one company behind it, what we have is a whole industry promoting it, trying to push it, and to allow the world to accept digital currencies as payment and as a store of value.
80% of transactions in Bitcoin are done in yuan. So 80% of Bitcoin are in China, I'm assuming, right here.
Yeah, what Goldman Sachs said in the report was that 80% of the world's trading volume is done in China or in renminbi. So that's indeed the case. A lot of the world's trading volume, all the exchanges, all the traders are trading in and out of the renminbi.
Okay, so, you know, what gives? I suppose that's the question here as well. You know, we've had huge volatility. How does that make your job as a salesman for Bitcoin and a standard bearer for it difficult?
Yeah, the volatility comes with the fact that the territory that it is a new asset class. So what we saw was this year the prices range from 300 to 500. It's about $300 US. And as we remember from the peaks in 2013 up to over $1,000. So the other reality is that Bitcoin price actually volatility has come down a lot. In the last 12 months, volatility is much lower than it ever was. So we're sort of at the end of the bear market, hopefully.
Well, you're hoping for stability, aren't you? Because with stability comes respectability and legitimacy. And that's what you're really trying to get, isn't it, Bobby?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Bitcoin, I think with legitimacy, the reality is today, you know, despite the fact that the price fluctuates, people are still using it as a form of payment. So people all around the world are buying Bitcoins, are using it to pay for merchandise, both online and physical, especially with the Greek euro crisis and also, for example, the currency crisis in Argentina. Different pockets and regions around the world are starting to adopt Bitcoin earlier and faster. And also same with regulation. I think what we see is that countries like the United States is leading the fund for Bitcoin regulation.
Yeah, quickly, I mean, Silk Road. You could buy drugs on Silk Road using Bitcoin. And you know, the thing is you have to get rid of that image which has been tarnished.
Well, the reality is what people use Bitcoin for, it's hard to control, just like what people use cash for. People buy drugs with cash as well. So yes, there will be some people, offenders, who use it for illicit activities. But for the most part, we believe Bitcoin is a viable digital asset, digital currency that people can use in normal life.
The big thing out of Bitcoin is the very technology of it and the way the transactions are processed and the nature of this, as you call it, a cryptocurrency.
And the blockchain.
It's something called the blockchain.
Yes.
Tell us exactly what the blockchain is and why it could actually be replicated in so many other industries, which could really be the legacy of Bitcoin.
Yes, blockchain is excellent technology. It's what revolutionized the whole cryptocurrency field. It's essentially a public ledger that is distributed worldwide. What is a ledger? A ledger is like a bank ledger that keeps track of how much money is in one account when something comes in, when something goes out, deposits and credits and withdrawals. So normally ledgers are kept by the bank, by a company. So one company has the final say on the ledger, whether it's airline miles or banks. But
whereas this is held in a central repository, if you will.
It's not central. It's spread out all around the world.
Well, everybody has access to it.
Exactly.
Is my point, yes.
It's the common consensus view of who has how much in which accounts.
And that's how you know who has got Bitcoin.
That's right. That's exactly
and how much they hold.
This is the revolutionary technology.
And it can be transferred into many other industries.
It can be. Other industries are starting to adopt different kinds of blockchains for their own use.
Can you give us some examples?
For example, what we're going to do is financial institutions can start issuing stocks, like companies can sell stock and that can be registered in blockchain. There's other record-keeping purposes, like whether it's real estate titles, that can be registered in the blockchain. For now, for Bitcoin, because it's the world's mostly widely used blockchain, BTC China has offered a service called Forever, which allows people to write messages onto the blockchain. And once things are engraved and inscribed into the blockchain, it stays there forever. Because the whole world has a consensus on it. It keeps building on top of it. So it's like permanent, it's like in concrete, it just never goes away.